So here we are. Welcome to the Botany View Hotel.
Thanks so much for having me, Luke.
No, it's an absolute pleasure.
Can we start with you telling me a little bit about the history of the pub?
Well, it's one of the oldest pubs in Newtown. It's always had a rich history in live music. Some of the better artists in Sydney have cut their teeth here over the years, and it's just been a real focal point in the community.
And you took the pub over back in 2019. What was it like then?
The pub had gone down a slightly different route to its history. It was more sports orientated, and we just wanted to really make sure that it came back to a proper institution in live music in Sydney.
There must have been something that stood out to you about this venue for you to want to take it over.
My background's always been in revamping and sort of changing the styles of pubs, and this one just stood out as one with such a rich history already in music that we could just take it even further.
You took it over in 2019, just before the pandemic. Can you tell me about some of the biggest challenges that you have faced?
Outside the obvious of having to be closed for so long and a lot of the restrictions that were put on, I think every hospitality venue will tell you that it was a real challenge getting through the legalities and the new rules that were implemented and keeping the public happy with that kind of thing. Now that we've come out the other side, I think that's still a little bit of a challenge as well. People have lost that sense of trust in going out in large groups, and live music obviously is a bit more intimate than what people normally do. So just getting people to relax and enjoy themselves again has been a bit of a challenge.
Can you tell me a little bit about the refurbishment since you took the hotel over?
We weren't splashing big amounts of cash around. We just needed to restructure the way the venue worked. There was always a temporary stage. We've now built this main stage and expanded how many acts and how big of an act we can sort of put on here.
And you've also transformed the upstairs area too.
Yeah, correct. It's a wonderful little garden oasis up there. It's a very different feel to downstairs. We do a lot of DJs into the twilight. Having cocktails in the setting sun is a pretty valuable thing, especially in an urbanised area like this. So it's nice to have a little bit of a change.
I noticed out the front that you've got a sign that says you're dog-friendly too.
Certainly are. On a Sunday afternoon, you can barely get through the pub without tripping over one of our four-legged friends, but it's an intrinsic part of the community. We're so close to Sydney Park. People like to take their dog out for a walk, then have a cold one on the way home.
Coming back to challenges, when you look at right now, what would you say are 2 or the 3 biggest challenges for you?
I think the main problem for us is just getting that word back out into the community. We're really confident with what we've done with the pub, and the artists that we have here speak for themselves. It's just getting the wider community to understand what we've been doing, what we've changed, how the venue now works, and as we did most of that during the lockdown, a lot of people haven't seen that for themselves. So we just need to get the word out there of what we're doing and how we operate.
It's interesting you say that because I hear that quite a bit. So in my business, the PR Hub, we work with entrepreneurs like yourself, brands constantly challenged by how do I get the word out there. So let's go and have a chat and talk about some of those challenges.
Wonderful.
So Luke, you were telling me earlier that one of your biggest challenges is how do you actually build awareness for this amazing venue? Can you tell me a little bit more about that?
I think the struggle really is, outside of the amazing artists that we get through here doing a lot of promotion for us, obviously in their own self-interest as well, is just getting the community to understand exactly what we're doing in here and how relaxed and what a fun vibe it is. So what do you think is the easiest way for us to just build that awareness for the venue itself?
Yeah, great topic to go through. And, you know, we talked earlier, I obviously work in PR, I've got a business in PR, and we work with people like yourself with the challenge of how do you build awareness. So, you know, one of the things with a community vibe like this is, you know, possibly even looking at creating some short, snackable video content that you can pump out on socials. It doesn't have to be polished either. People don't need polished video content these days. It needs to be genuine. Yep. It needs to be authentic. Your team can talk about the great atmosphere that you have here, like why they like working here.
Yep.
Also grabbing some of your regular customers. I'm sure some of them wouldn't mind getting behind you and having a chat and showcasing what they love about this place.
Well, I think plenty of those customers would jump at the chance to be on camera. I mean, another change we've made is we've revamped our kitchen. We're really proud of the different style of food that we're doing now. And do you have any advice on just how to get the word out there on that as well?
I think that's really interesting that you raised that, because this is a pub, it's an entertainment venue, and you've got an amazing menu that people don't know about. So tapping into some well-known food bloggers, influencers, even hosting an event for those people.
Mm-hmm.
We did one last week for a client where we had a bit of an industry panel as well, so we made it informative and we made those food bloggers, again, want to come along, try the menu, but also feel like they were getting something out of that as well. Because if you engage the right ones and they're using their social platforms, again, another great way to do it, another form of word of mouth, it will really stick.
Yeah, building that customer loyalty, that's always a focus for a business like ours. Is there something we could be doing better there as well?
You've got membership drives and you've got the dogs, you know, the dog-friendly pub, which is great. One of the things that I've noticed about the hospitality industry in the past couple of years, having worked with some businesses in that space, is the innovation from technology and how that's really helping venues, especially post-pandemic and with staff shortages. You know, you've got the QR codes and the order and pay at the tables. Not only is the customer getting what they want, but it's also helping you as a business. And that's something that's really important for you, right? Being profitable. So they're getting a great experience and they're more likely to come back if they know that they can engage like that.
Thanks, Sam. There's some great advice in there, and obviously we've got plenty to think about.
Yeah, look, it's an amazing venue. Thank you so much for having me, and you know where to find me, so if you've ever got a question, make sure you reach out.
Thank you very much.